my name is Wyatt Anderson. I'm the Agronomic Development Specialist for American Implement. Today we are here at the Garden City location and we're going to do a walk around of the John Deere 326P compact wheel loader. What's so special and unique about this model is that it is going to have a telehandler arm on the front that is going to allow this machine to go up to 16 feet tall. It articulates and is a very unique machine that comes from John Deere. Let's walk around on the side and we'll talk about some of the models. The models of compact wheel loaders from John Deere are going to range from 40 horsepower range up to the 100 horsepower range. Today's model that we're looking at is going to have 71 net horsepower. It's going to have a 1 to 2.6 cubic yard bucket that you can put on these. And like I said, it can reach up to 16 feet tall as it starts to elongate and telescope. The models are going to have something all similar when it comes to articulation. So this model is going to not only articulate, but it's also going to have the back tires turn at another 10 degrees. So you get 30-degree articulation on top of another 10 degrees of wheel space that's going to turn with you. That allows you to have a longer wheelbase from front to back axle, and that's going to let you back up in certain ways that just a regular articulating compact wheel loader wouldn't be able to do. So one of the things I like to mention on top of the articulation is you still have great view of the cab as you're looking out with a lot of window around you. One of the things I like to mention with these is the serviceability, and with that they will come standard with locks for the arm, and then also when it articulates so you can keep her from moving on you. Let's go over to the side, and we have a service interval, just like you would on a combine. You'd have your map of where all your daily services are going to be, your 8 to 50 hours. Still check on your service manuals and owner's manuals for where most of the things are going to need to be checked every day, every week, in certain amount of hour ranges. Let's go over to the back and we'll take a look at what's back there. Here we are at the back end of the 326P. As you can see, everything is going to be pretty accessible, easy to see, easy to get to for the most part. It's not going to be too different from some of the lower and higher horsepower models. And don't forget, like I said earlier, this has 71 net horsepower on it. One thing that's really cool about these machines is if you go onto the right side here, you have the battery shut off, and with that, it's just like a key, so you can take that off and take it with you. With this one, we still have it on its little plastic deal so it doesn't go anywhere. Super easy if you wanted to not only lock the machine, but also take the battery disconnect with it. As we walk around to the right side, these machines breathe right to left. On some of the bigger horsepower models, they're actually gonna still come from an area similar to this, but they'll actually be going in direction of the right side to the back left in an angle. So easy to wash out, easy to clean out. As we kind of make our way forward more, your cabin filter is going to be right on the right side of the cab, super accessible as well. And then you have your fuel cap. You'll have on other models a def cap to fill up with, and as you look around the rest of the machine, very easy to get to other things, clean up. You have the option to get lighting packages, so not only can you get halogens, but you can also get LEDs or more of a spotlight type of light package. Some of them will and won't come with the lighting on your boom so that you can get a nice good view of what you're looking at night. Lots of variability in what you can get for your ability to see at night. A lot of options. It's pretty cool when it comes to that. Let's go take a look in the cab and see what that's all about. A really nice feature that comes with John Deere compact wheel loaders is the doors and windows that are really unique. So you have a good way to open them as usual, but as you have to get in and out all day, or you have someone that has to continue talking to you, both sides open and close this way. And it's just as simple as when it's done being locked, you'll just pull your normal lever that's closest to the driver. But if you want to leave her out, super simple like that. I'm gonna hop in the cab and we'll talk about some of my favorite features. The first thing to start talking about when it comes to John Deere compact wheel loaders is you do have the ability to still telescope your steering wheel and bring it closer and forward. You have your AC vents that will be right in front of you and your defroster. And really the rest of it is going to be window motion on the front and to the left. So you still have your blinkers on your right. You're going to have more vents going out the side of that front. On your left foot is going to be your brake and slowing pedal. A lot of guys will use that to brake normally, but also slow and creep instead of just touching the throttle. So you have to your right the main throttle that is going to increase your RPMs. When you want to decrease your RPM, it's going to be as simple as letting out or using the brake. With that being said, as you look to your right hand, that makes these really unique is you still have your joystick. On the joystick with this specific model that we were talking about earlier was the telescoping motion. And with that, you're going to use the joystick forward and back to elongate and bring it back in. On the bottom here, you're going to have your forward and neutral buttons. So that's the best way to go forward, is a click up. You want to go to neutral, you will click down. And remember, before you go anywhere, you want to be in neutral when you want to turn on your park brake. Speaking of the park brake, on your right, the very first button is going to be your park brake button. You want to be in neutral when you have that. To the right is going to be your exhaust filter cleaning switch. John Deere is going to always recommend leaving that in auto, but you have the ability to turn off that function. You're going to have your confirm button, your ride control, which is going to be what is going to be one of the coolest things about compact construction equipment from John Deere. That feature is going to be used often when you get going on the road or hitting a high gear. It's going to help out with the ride quality. You're going to have your quick coupler, so you would have to push your button in and down for when you want to unhook the implement that you have in front of you. You're going to have your working hydraulics, so if you wanted to lock your hydraulics, it's a simple click and it won't go anywhere. So if you wanted to leave a machine, it's one extra safety setting that you can hit on top of leaving your lock there if you wanted to work on the boom or you're leaving for the day. All of that is going to be most of your work function buttons. And don't forget, there is a cheat code there on the right window for all of these, and they will also be in your owner's manual. So just to the left of those is your HVAC, heating and cooling buttons, and then cup holder with your 12-volt charging area. As we look to the right, above all of those buttons, you're going to have a similar door that's going to open and close very similar to this way. One of my favorite functions is if you have a boss that's continually staying to the right of you or needs to come talk to you, and maybe you need to listen to somebody that's opening a bale in front of you, you have the function to raise up an arm and slowly bring that to a close and still have a gap. So super easy for guys who can pull up to your right side, talk to you, give you a quick moment, and then maybe they have to come back, or maybe your gate buddy that's opening gates has to come talk to you really quick. So one of my favorite features of the John Deere equipment in this lineup. As we look to our main screen, this is going to be a 9-inch screen, and it is adjustable up and down with screws in the back. And with that, if you have somebody that is going to prefer that to be closer to the front low position, near the cup holder position, you can raise and lower that. With most tall people, they may not like it in their way, or maybe they do like it right there in their view. With that screen, you're going to have more buttons up top that stick with the compact wheel loader additions. So you have your window up front that's going to stay with the 326P. So as you raise and start to bring that boom as far out as it can go, you're going to want to use that window from time to time and still see what's above you. You don't have to creep up forward. You're going to see out the window. So your buttons on the right, from left to right, are going to be your overload bypass, your travel gear range. With these, you're still going to range from a 1 to 2 range when you're working, and it will have the ability to automatically adjust the speed as necessary with the workload it has. So that's a pretty cool feature. You can still leave it in number 1 or number 2, but the mid-range is going to be that 1 to 2, and that's where this machine really shines, is now you can focus on what you're picking up and dropping off. So that's a pretty cool function. Then you have your roof, rear, and wiper washer. You'll have your rear defrost, your hazards, and then your 3 main light buttons that are going to be your front work lights. So front is always going to be your front work lights. Your rear work lights are going to face the back, and then your drive lights. So with that being said, one thing to mention with all of these models is this one specifically has the ability to pick up an object and know the weight that it's picking up is within or starting to max out on its main weight ratio that is going to allow it to start tipping. So if you get an operator who isn't used to driving this model of machinery, this type of machinery, or picking up the objects that they have, this will have an ability to pull up to an object, and as the operator starts to raise that boom to pick up the object, it will beep if it is getting close to a weight that will start to make the machine tip. So now operators have a feeling of what's going on with what this machine can carry and can't carry, what it can hold, what angle it needs to be at. So really awesome for operators who aren't used to these. So with that being said, we'll hop to the front and we'll talk about some uses and attachments. So what are some of the uses? There are several attachments that you can add on to the compact wheel loaders from John Deere. With that being said, you can still get your skid steer attachment to the front, which opens up a whole wide variety of utilities. So you can still get grapples, still get snow blades, snow pushers. You can get all kinds of buckets. You can get pallet forks. You can get all kinds of uses that would allow you to do things on the ranch that would have to do with picking up objects, scooping up objects, pushing off certain objects and lifting them up to 2 stories with the 16-foot tall boom at the very end. You can even get augers at the front of this and dig some of your corner posts or post holes. There are several uses that allow this machine to have a wide variety of tasks done from the same machine. It's going to get all the things you can do with a wheel loader and all the things that you can do with a telehandler and bring them together. So please feel free to call your American Implement dealership. We have a lot of good options when it comes to compact wheel machines, and that is the walk around today for the 326P. Have a good day.